New FNAF game drops and my hyperfixation comes back. Spoilers ahead for Security Breach, and yeah. So, I discuss a lot in this video. And it's new for me, so please bear with me. But before we get into this, please be sure to hit the like button, subscribe if you are new to the channel, and hit the bell notified of my future uploads. And yeah, leave your thoughts down below, because things like this are really cool and really interesting to me, and I want to know others' thoughts and what they might have to add on to things. The FNAF 6 mini game, the car mini game. Find a hole at the bottom and then you drive through that and then it leads into this whole other area. I want to talk about that. It was something that was really weird and never got explained. Very strange. I think I may have an explanation that covers a lot of this. So let's start off with what my theory is. I want to propose that the character that we play as in the car racing minigame is Gregory's guardian, parent, father, whatever, older brother, whatever, and the child that ran away back to that place is Gregory, and that place is the Pizzaplex. In the minigame, you have, you know, this area where you're driving, and then you drive to your house, but there's also a separate path where you can go to this place called Junior's. I want to propose that Junior's is a bar, just because, you know, it has a bodyguard outside, you know, someone that lets people in. So, and he says like, oh, you can't be here and things like that, which would say that the character that we're playing as in this minigame has past issues with drinking, if that is a bar. But, you know, go with me here. If you're being told that you can't be inside the bar, that there's an issue that you've done. And so, you know, there's nothing else you can do. You just walk away back to your car, and then you drive, and the path gets like more narrow, and then you come upon a house. And when you get there, you can like walk around the back of the house, but presumably you would go in first. When you walk in, there's just someone there watching TV. They're just like, leave him alone, he's had a rough day. And then you can like walk over to the bedroom, and you knock on it and say, I told you not to lock the door. No response. Walk away, come back. You're just like, it's my house, he can't act like this. Knock on the door again and yell for them to open the door. That is very terrifying behavior to treat a child. And then, you know, you just go around back and you see that there is a broken window. I'll discuss that, but, you know, I want to talk about this first. I want to explain this. You see that there's a broken window, and very faintly there are what look to be animatronic footprints and like tiny little, presumably human footprints leading away into the path. When you walk up to that, your character says he's gone to that place again, he'll be sorry when he gets back. Then that's where the minigame ends. So, with that explained, now enter Security Breach. We play as this kid named Gregory. There's a lot of strange occurrences that never really get explained, but with this theory, I think I may have explained some, and I want to talk about them. So, let's get to it. Vanessa, the night guard. At some point in the game, I don't really remember where, but I do remember this line because it's very strange. She says that there's no record of Gregory in like the database, and so does Freddy. Like he scans Gregory, tries to add him, says that he's adding them to the database, and he's not able to. Nessa, Banny, whatever, shut off the power or shut off the access. Another occurrence is that Gregory has to get Freddy out of his room, but when he goes to do that, he's unable to because he doesn't have the right pass, and Freddy says, I assumed you would have one. My assumption here is that Freddy thinks that he would have one because, you know, he was a guest at the Pizzaplex, you know, he paid for an entry pass, things like that. But if there's no record of him and he doesn't have one, then he didn't pay for anything. He's not supposed to be there, you know, he like snuck in or something like that. If he did sneak in, it would make a lot of sense if Gregory did run away from home because of his guardian's behavior and ran to the Pizzaplex because maybe he's had fun times there, it's a safe place for him, but he couldn't ask to go because he wouldn't be allowed to, so he couldn't ask for money or anything. and he just goes. But he has no way to get in, no money to pay for anything. So he just sneaks in, which is why there'd be no record of him in the databases and why he wouldn't have any passes that, a actual guest would have. The band-aids. There's like a band-aid on his cheek and then one on his knee, I think. I think that, okay, this one's a bit of a stretch, but every working theory has its quirks, okay? So stick with me here. The band-aids on his cheek and on his knee, I think, can be explained by the broken window. He can't go through the door because, the person sitting at the TV, watching TV, might be like, where are you going? And then, not let him go. So he would have to go through the window. And, how would he do that? Breaking the window. And of course, going through glass, you're going to get cuts. Because it's glass. And so then he got band-aids. Band-aids to put on the cuts. The band-aids never, I don't think, ever got explained. Remember, this is all just a theory. It's not, I'm not trying to say this is what security breach is. It's all just a theory. I don't think any of the endings have names. I've seen people call this the homeless ending. I don't know. In this ending, Gregory escapes the Pizzaplex, and you find him in an alleyway sleeping in a cardboard box, covering up with a newspaper, which can be explained because, he can't go back home. The Guardian literally said he'll be sorry when he gets back, so, he knows. He knows that he can't go back home. He knows that it'll be bad. So he just doesn't. He just lives on the streets because he's terrified of what will happen if he goes back home. Whenever you're first inside Freddy, after you get him out of his room, he says something like, I sense that you're broken, and then he takes you to first aid. It's really weird, and I think that Freddy is saying that he's broken emotionally because of his home life. The Guardian, in the theory, suffering from alcohol abuse, not being allowed in the bar, if Junior's is a bar, that's what I'm just proposing. What seems to be an abusive father figure. It's gonna emotionally break someone. Now how Freddy can sense that? I don't know. That's a whole other theory on Freddy, because he's weird. I have two ideas on this. It could either be Freddy or Vanny. I'm leaning more towards Vanny, because Freddy says that he can't go outside without charging because he'll die within an hour. Depending on the distance of his house from the Pizzaplex, it could be Freddy. Vanny, if it is Vanny, it's Vanny outside persuading him, saying, come on, come over to the Pizzaplex, it's a safe haven, things like that, just to kill him. I don't know. Or if it's Freddy, he's just there. I don't think that it's Freddy though, because he seemed a little bit he seemed like he didn't know Gregory. If it was Freddy outside of his window, he would know Gregory. I do think it was Vanny. Everybody assumed that in the car minigame you were the purple guy because you were driving a purple car. The weird thing though, this character was being portrayed as orange, not purple. Everybody was just like, oh, why is William Afton now orange instead of purple? In this theory, that's not William. That's a whole new character, which is why they're orange. I think that character is Gregory's parent or guardian, which is why they're not purple, they're not pink, they're not a color that we've seen before, because we've never seen this character before. In conclusion, I think that this theory has a ton of potential, and if anybody wants to add on to it, please feel free. I'm probably not the first to think about this. I was just watching people play FNAF 6 just for the nostalgia, and I was thinking this could link, maybe. And then I thought about it more, and I was like, there's a lot of plot points here. When you are traveling down the Pizzaplex and you go underground to the pizzeria that is located under there, I want to ignore the giant Freddy head for now because I don't even want to think about that because I have no idea what that could be. You see the Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria sign, as if that's the pizzeria from the first game. I don't think it is. I think because it has a completely different layout, the stage is more colorful. The Pirate's Cove type thing is not out of order. It doesn't have purple curtains. It's not located like over to the left. It's right next to the stage. It has red curtains. This pizzeria lines up with the FNAF 6 pizzeria, so that shows that they do have a link. Not only does that line up, but you also see Molten Freddy, you see Springtrap. Anyway, let me go ahead and just summarize everything that I discussed. My basic idea is that the FNAF 6 minigame is linked directly to Security Breach. The character that we play as in that minigame is Gregory's father, older brother, guardian, whoever takes care of him. And the kid who ran away is Gregory. Where did Gregory go? The Pizzaplex, which is what we see in Security Breach. So essentially, Midnight Motorist, that minigame, was setting up the idea for Security Breach. I want to know where Security Breach fits into the timeline. Oh god. Anyway, the timeline's confusing. I'll let MatPat do the timeline. I just wanted to talk about this because it was a really cool idea. Thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed this theory, I like doing theories. I might do more videos like this because I do enjoy doing this. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to hit the like button, subscribe, and hit the bell to notify on my next uploads. And please add on to this in the comments. Add on your ideas, give me suggestions, things like that. And yeah, thank you all for watching. Goodbye.